Hi there, this is Sue from Miller's Laboratory, and I have a flip through for you today of some new books that I'm listing on Etsy, and there are 6 of them. I'm doing something a little different this time and just creating one listing with 6 items that you can choose from. So I will show you one all the way through, and then I'll show you the covers of each one, and then they're all pretty similar, so you're going to get about the same thing in each one. We'll start with number 1 here. These books are made from manila envelopes. I used those as the covers. I had this idea for a while. I thought it would be really cool to have this pocket on the front that you could put things into if you were intending to put them into your journal at a later time, or you could just tuck little things in there that you wanted to. When I got this book about done though, I realized that wasn't going to work very well. It wouldn't stay closed nicely. It was too bulgy, and so these are actually glued closed. You have the look of the manila envelope, but this does not open. So this is number 1, and you can see there's a little key closure here. I'll show you the key on each one. They're all a little different. There's a little dangle on each one. And there's some buttons in there. Oops, let's get it on camera there. There's some buttons and beads, little charms, a little ticket, just some fun little things. And then, so the cover, I did a lot of stamping and a little bit of collaging, and then that is all covered with matte medium, so it's very durable and sturdy. And then the spine is some cotton fabric, some kind of really fine weave cotton fabric, and there are 3 signatures stitched in, and then I used some lace along that edge. Alright, so that was number 1. Here's number 2. Very similar, same kind of beads and buttons and everything. This is what the collage looks like, and the key, this one has some numbers on it. Come in a little closer, and then this is what the back looks like. All right, this is number 3. Again, same kind of dangle things here. Cover. This one has a really kind of cool shaped key. I don't know if it's from a car. Oh yeah, it says Ford on the other side. Cool. And then this is the back. Here's number 4. Key. It's like a little locker key, or a little lock. Here's number 5. This is a Yale key. That one also has some numbers on it. And finally, here's number 6. Same kind of key again here. All right, and since I have number 6 in my hand, that's the one I'll open up and we'll go through. Okay, so the key is just attached with some string here, and I made it really long. I wrapped it around 3 times. You could shorten that if you wanted to. It's really probably not necessary. And what I thought, since you have this big long string with the key on it, is that you can just tuck that into the back here, and we'll get back to this to see what it looks like, but you can just kind of tuck that in out of your way when you're working on your book. All right, so first of all, on the inside, I have created a little writing board, and this is just an old bingo card, and then I've just put some pretty paper and a sheet from a little poetry book on there to make it pretty. That just clips here at the bottom. And then there's a label in there that you can put your name or whatever in, and there's just a little stamp there. First page here, there is a pocket made from a little bag, and it's just got a stamp on again and a postage stamp. And then tucked in that pocket, I created this long tag that I thought would make a really good bookmark. A little picture of a boy there with chickens. And just a sheet for making a list. Good thing to have at the beginning of a book, I think. And then here's an envelope. And inside that, I just tucked a card. It's just a greeting card. I did put the little picture of the girl on there. That wasn't there. Good place to do some journaling. There is a paper clip here, and clipped in there is a little, I'm just going to lay that hand there to keep that book open. A little folder. It has a little button closure. You just wrap the string around. Little girl on there. And this is just simply a folder. You can open it up and do a lot of journaling in there. Or you could tuck something inside there if you wanted to, or glue things in there, or whatever you like. It's kind of for you to use as you choose. All right. And that little paper clip just has a little fabric tie on it. We have a page from an old recipe book, an accounting book, and an old math trigonometry book. This is just a piece of red paper, and I've created a flip here with a window envelope. I just did some collage on that. And then inside of it, I just created a very simple journaling card. This is a page from an old children's dictionary, and then it's just cardstock. So it can be journaled on, and then you can see through the windows now here that I used the kids' writing paper inside. This is a page, some kind of a science book, music paper that you can write on, and a little receipt. This is some old typing paper. And this is a page from an old yearbook. Kind of been using those a lot. I think it's fun. This is a page from a booklet that you use to plan out marching band drills. Yeah, this is some kind of a music book. This is fern printed paper that I did in the summer. Shorthand. Another math book. This is a really old one from the late 1800s, and I just folded that one up and made it into a pocket on both sides. And inside there's just a small piece of graph paper folded, and another little tag with a butterfly on it. It's made from an old index card, coffee dyed index card. This is a page from a butterfly guide, and this is the center of the signature. And I left these strings long in case you want to do something with them. You can always just cut them off if you don't like that. This is the other half of that math book paper that I made into the pocket. And this is just another old receipt sheet and another little journaling tag or card made from a printout of a vintage rose. And then just some pattern paper on the back. And now we're just kind of going back through that signature. So here's our shorthand again, the fern paper, the music paper, the marching band, and that one flips out because that's a nice big piece of paper. There's our yearbook again. On this side of the typing paper, I made it into a little pull-out with a little cluster on there, so there's lots of room to write. Here's your receipt again, the music paper. On the other side, this is the science book paper again. I made a little belly band with some map paper or atlas paper. And then inside here, there's just a little envelope. This is also made from book page, a little label on it. And inside here is just a little card with a little watercolor on it that it says joy, little on the back of a blue index card. That just tucks, the flap just tucks right down in there, if you can get it to tuck. There we go. All right. This is just a hanger, a top page hanger. Again, index card here, coffee dyed with a pretty label on it that I printed out. On the back here is just a card catalog card. And inside there you could do writing again. So that's just kind of an added little thing there. Paper. This is the other side of the ledger paper, and I just put a little pull on there with a butterfly and a stamp, and that's actually when I made this, was January 10th. These books have been sitting around for a while until I could get to making the video and taking all the pictures. Just haven't really felt like doing that lately, so I'm kind of late to the party here, but time to get them listed. All right, here's the other half of the envelope, and on this one I just created a little booklet. The cover page is from an old bird guide, and there's just like random papers in here that you can write on. Office-y type papers, mostly journaling type papers, things in there. Okay. I did sew a little ribbon on the edge there because I thought that was pretty. On this next page, I created a little paper clip with a slide, and I just put some lace inside there. And this is just from the back of a science book again, where you could write notes. And I just folded that up and put that in there. A little place to add for more writing if you need it. These little mushrooms, they're supposed to be clipped there, but they came off, of course. These are just two little cards, again, just that I printed. And they're journaling cards. This is from some kind of a social studies book that kids would have in school. And then on the other side here, I created a little tuck. That's just some vintage fabric that's sewn onto a card. And this is an old time card that I just put some flowers on both sides, and that just tucks up in there. Okay. Notebook paper. This is another old book that I created a pocket out of in kind of a different way. It's kind of more like a side tuck or side pocket here. And I tucked inside here, this is also meant to be a journaling card. There's some lined paper on the back, but I made a little pocket on the front of it. And I got that cute little picture of that girl with her dog. And then inside there, I've tucked just a small little tag on a botanical book page. And then this little envelope. It's made also from a small book, and I just stamped that and glued it on. And then inside there, there is another little card. And this one was kind of fun. I used some vintage film strip on there, and then I folded the rows, origami. So that one's kind of like got something inside of a pocket inside of a pocket there. It's fun to go through and discover things like that. It's from an old nursery rhyme book. And then this is from some kind of a state activity book for kids. And this one also got folded into a pocket because it was really tall. And inside here, this is just a printed old cigarette card, a printed old ticket, and then this is an actual vintage or antique postcard with some writing on it. This is from a book about nature or birds. I liked the big font. I thought that looked cool. And then this is from an old guidebook about butterflies, just tucked in there. This is an old piece of stationery. I thought it was pretty. And another different piece of accounting paper. This is also stationery. This is from an architectural drawing book. And this is another piece of that typing paper. An old dictionary. And then this as an envelope. I left it very plain. You can decorate it if you like. And then it's made into a pocket. Inside of here, there's a little tag that I created with a little boy with his fishing pole, just plain on the back. And then a journaling card that I used some book page and I stamped on. There's a little gesso on there, and I glued a little bird. And that one is on the back of a paint chip. This is from a kid's old reader. This is a bird book in the middle here. It's the center of our signature. Okay, and then back through again. Here's the kid's reader again. Here's the other half of that envelope. In this one, there's another journaling card that's very similar, again, with the book page and gesso and the little bird. And that one's on some more of a yellowish paint chip. And then this is just a coffee dyed flashcard. Dictionary, typing paper, folds out, architectural drawing. Okay, this is a glassine envelope here that I actually tipped on to the back of this to this stationery. The stationery was just plain on the top, so I tipped in this glassine envelope and I folded it in such a way to make some pockets. So in these first two, there are just these little fabric sample. Mark that spot because there's a lot to look through here. Just a little fabric sampler. There's two of those in here you can journal on. Inside this pocket, I just put some tickets and a playing card, little tiny one with birds on it. And then there's a pocket on the side here, and in there I just have a little photo. This is an old-time band. This is something I printed. It's not an actual old one. This is a print of an old Victorian calling card. Again, just a print, and some more tickets. These are like the ones that I used on the cover too, the blue ones. So the other half of that accounting paper, stationery butterfly, the nature, and the state book. And then in this pocket, I created a little booklet out of leftover manila folders. It's just kind of antiqued around the edge with ink. And then it has just a little tag here, that's just how you tuck it in to close it. Okay, and this is just another little notebook that I use some more random papers in. I use some kind of thinner ones in this booklet. So there's some wrapping paper, painters, masking tape. This is a page from an old pocket calendar. Tracing paper, just various things in there. Okay. It's our nursery rhyme book. Here's our math book again with that sort of side tuck pocket. And I did the same thing here, created a journaling card with a little pocket with a girl. This one's holding a bird or a chick. And then tucked inside of there, I just made another little fold out. It's got that little closure on there, and it's just a little tiny tuck spot to put something. It's made from handmade paper and a doily. Okay. So again, a little pocket or a little tuck within a tuck here. Okay. Now this is a page that was that social studies book, and on this one I created another flip out, but I kept this open here so it could be a pocket. I just tucked one little flashcard with a number on it, or it might be from a game, I'm not sure, with a little mushroom, a little bit of collage on there and a label. Okay, and then this flips out, and it's another window envelope that I collaged, and there's another journaling card inside of this one. Oh, it's right here. Can't get it out. There. And this one I just used some book page and a cutout from a flower. And it's just cardstock again on the back. This is from an old teacher's record book. This is the third signature here now. This is from a German book, I think. A journal page with pink writing, which I thought was pretty. Pink lines, I should say. And then these are from an old opera program. This is from a flower book, Garden Flowers in Color. It's a really pretty book. Really pretty smooth paper. Some kind of a little lined thing. This is from one of those vintage patterns that you can use to do embroidery. And then this is kind of a cool little pockety thing. There's 2 pockets here with little tags in them. Get out, because I don't want that. They're just made from kids' readers again, just a plain tag on the back. But that holds this closed, and it's like a little secret flip up where you can do some journaling. Okay, so when you pull this tag out, you're going to get the same thing where you can flip this up and do some journaling in there. And then the last one doesn't have a tag, but that one opens up too. Okay, there's a little paper clip on the side here to hold in, and it's just got a little bow on it. It's just a little tiny tag. It's cute. And it just clips in this floating pocket. This is just made from Manila folder, and it just has some book page and labels and just some pretty stuff on there. And then in that I just tucked a page from a kid's book. Got some horses and farm animals on it. But again, whatever you like in there you can add. This is from an insect guidebook. Some accounting paper. This is from a Sudoku book. And then this is from a really beautiful calendar book with some really beautiful florals on it. Some kind of an English workbook for kids. This is 1/2 of a little sack, and I just made a little pocket on it and tucked this little tag with these little girls reading. And then this is a belly band with an envelope. Inside this envelope I have just another flashcard with some napkin over it and some tracing paper on that side just to kind of dull that down a little bit so you can write on it, and a page from a children's poetry book. Really, I love those old children's poetry books. They're beautiful. And this envelope, I got it at a thrift store. I got a whole pack of them, and I just love them because they have these beautiful floral flaps that are like really big, so they're nice. Okay, so this belly band here has a little secret too. It actually pulls out. It's actually a place to do some journaling. So it just accordion folds back up, and then you just tuck your envelope back in there, and that holds it closed. It's a book from a wildflower guide, from an atlas book, and that is the center of our signature here. This is a resume paper. This is the other half of that bag, and inside of here I created this really cool little flippy-do thing. And so it's made out of more atlas paper. There's just some little stamped image there. This is a printout of an old ticket and a bird cut out on the back, just a piece of scrapbook paper and a larger bird. And there is a pocket here on the back, and inside there I just tucked a couple of things. This is a folded page from a really old fragile cookbook. A little tag that I made on another type of sort of a flashcard, the flower on there, and a printout of a ticket. Not a genuine one, just a printout. And I just folded those like this with that cookbook around it, so that the cookbook page sticks out, and when you pull it out, it pulls the other ones out too. A little. Okay, all right. So we're going to go to the other side here, and there's a little string closure. If we unwrap that, this folds out on both sides. And here in the center there is a pocket. In there I just tucked an altered Rolodex card. And over here there is a little pocket. It's hard to do this in midair here. Let's set that down. That's just a teeny weeny little tag with some lace on it. And another one of those Victorian calling card printouts. Over on this side, there's also a pocket, and I just put a little tag in there. Little girl sewing, celebrate your blessings. It's just on some embroidery or some kind of needlework pattern, and then this one actually opens up, so it's plain on the inside and you can write there. Okay, and then the cool thing about this is that it opens in different places. So it opens down here, and I just put tracing paper in there so you can write, and it opens up this way so you can write again. Tracing paper just to kind of tone down that pattern so you can write over it. That was a fun little thing to kind of plan and make. And I don't know if I want to take the time to close this right now, but I guess I will, just so you can see how it goes. I'm not doing it very carefully, but that goes back in this little sack here. And then we're kind of working our way again back through the signature. So this was that workbook. This is the other half of that floral calendar. You can see that part. This is a belly band that I made with some scrapbook paper and some trim. And I just tucked a tag in there. This is a tag made from another flash card. Put a tab on it, a little receipt, and a pretty bird on there. This is a pull-out ledger page. You can see that whole thing, and I just made a pretty little pull with again, this is an origami heart that I just did a little bit of collage onto to make it into a cluster. Insect guide. This is some black paper that I just made. I made a little pocket on both sides here, and inside this one I tucked just a this is a stencil, and it's just some scrapbook paper that it's attached to. And then on the other side, there's a little tag, again on one of those sight words cards, and it's plain on the back. So our embroidery pattern, that notebook page, the wildflower book, the opera pages, the pink lined journal, the German, and last but not least, the teacher's record book. On the very back I put my label, and then I'm just going to pull this key back out of this pocket. It's just I did a little stamping on the back of the envelope here, and then I glued this little pocket that is made, or envelope it's like a coin envelope made out of book page, a couple labels and stuff on there, and then a little tiny tag that I made from an old nickel rolling thing. So, all right, so that is the book. That is book number 6. You got to see the entire thing. As I said, the other 5 books are very similar. Things are not necessarily in the same order in there, but everything is the same, pretty much. So I hope that you like that book. I hope that you'll go to my shop and check it out. And thank you for visiting Miller's Laboratory, and have a wonderful day. Bye.